Ah! Ah, it's happening. It's a Drawthrough. I was King Vader there. Oh, bless. They always crop up. Hello. How do? I started the stream. I mean, how else are you gonna start anything to do with this game? Yeah, we're back. We're in disc 3. We're about 2/3 of the way through the game, and the story is about to start. Yeah. How are we all doing? Are we well? We had a good start to the week, hopefully. A good end to the year, I guess. It's only a couple of days left. Yeah. It's a draw through time. Let's get the stuff up. There it is. Yeah. Well, you did some Remnant Survival mode with that. Ooh. Neat. Did you get far? Did you fight something other than a dragon? I can speak. Yeah. Welcome to episode 14, stream 14, whatever, VOD 14. It depends on the format with which you're watching this. There were no dragons. Yay. That's a plus. Also, hi Ragnar. It's time for red flag. Are there red flags? They're probably red flags. There are different sorts of red flags in this one. There's just sort of story red flags rather than character ones, which we're used to. Yes. So, what happened last time? Quick recap. Simon did the first sensible thing that they've done so far. It's Miss. Hello, Miss. How you doing? I like that face. Yeah. So, hang on, I need to move the microphone again. Oh no, don't make noise, please. There we go. Hopefully that was nice. You did die to rat bosses twice. Oh dear. Yeah. So, Simon retired. You good? You bought a knife. Wonderful. You might need it. Because the space potato was going to war against the space pancake, with the sorceress and Kyle and all that. During this important situation, Pikachu asked to borrow Simon's necklace keychain thing. For the purpose, Cheery actually wanted it, but she didn't want him to know that she wanted it. The invasion began with rocket motorbikes, because of course it did. I think we came to the conclusion that Kyle designed these because they're a very Kyle thing. So the invasion begins, and Cheery's like, "Oh yeah, I got the thing," and then the floor falls away, and she falls and plummets to her death, and she dies, and is never seen again. But for the purposes of the draw through, she catches the ledge and clings on there, and apparently we need to save her, even though there's literally a war happening. So we find a jetpack and hang from a rope off of it. Have a slapping match with the soldier. But eventually we help save Cheery, and we discover that our ring's name is Klefki, and that it looks nothing like that, but I'm going to keep that drawing. For reasons. We then land on the space pancake and infiltrate the space pancake. Inside, we find the non-binarity who have finally come to the realization that they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. And they're like, "Yeah, we're not going to fight you. We don't know what's going on." Which, good on them. Then we found a puppy, and we fought the puppy, and the puppy then joined us as a friend, as a mind-destroying friend, but nonetheless a friend. Non-binarity is a gigantic mood as usual. Yes, that's them. We then fought Kyle, who was protecting the sorceress, and we won. The sorceress zipped away, and then we fought Kyle again for reasons, and then we fought the sorceress, and we won. Then weird things happened. I don't think I have all of the drawings necessary to convey the weird things, because weird things were happening. But basically, what happened is we beat the sorceress, but then, ooh, music. But then there was a big old flash of light, magic light, which incapacitated everybody. Kyle was on the floor at this point. Where is he? There he is. Cheery walked over in a zombie-like trance, leant down to him, with their faces obscured and close. And then Kyle gets up and walks away. He just leaves. You're correct. Kyle just left, walked off into the distance, and then Cheery collapsed. Having then collapsed, the sorceress then gets up and goes, "Cool, blimey, what was that all about? Oh, hello. I recognise you. You used to be kids in the orphanage I used to work at. Hi, how you doing? What's going on here?" And that's where we left it. But we didn't leave it, because we went back to the space potato and we found out that Cheery is now in a coma. So that's nice. Yeah. And Simon it's been 14 streams and I still can't remember his name. Simon is sad about that because he's suddenly fallen in love with her. And I think Ragdoll mentioned last time that there might be some magic involved as to why he falls in love with her. I looked it up in between streams. I don't believe there is any mention of magic being involved, but I don't blame Ragdoll for thinking that because it makes more sense than anything that actually happens in the game. So we're going to just assume there is. Why not? Jerry and Simon are apparently in love because the plot demands it. Indeed. Love is one of the two main prongs of the story of this game. Yeah. And today we're going to find out what the second one is as well. Right, so how does it work? Everything needs to nudge over for the draw-throughs, doesn't it? Yeah, a second. You want to move things without knocking drinks everywhere. Do you really expect this game to explain why something happens? No. I refer you... Actually, can I bring that up? Do I have that as a... Oh, there? You don't need to see that. Do I still have that as an image? I do, yes. I need to add this. I don't know why I haven't added this already. This should just be something that crops up occasionally on stream. There we go. That is a line from later on in the game. When somebody is asked, why has everything that has happened in the game happened? So yeah, we'll leave that up there with the lamp. Right, so... What order do things happen in now? This is the bit of the game that I kind of lose. When I'm playing the game, I sort of just zone out because nothing really matters anymore. The plot's basically finished. We beat the sorceress. Yay! But someone's in a coma, so we've got to stop that, apparently. Can't believe that is actually in the game. It's so stupid. It's literally one of the most important conversations in the game, and that's the conclusion of it. I'm so hoping that's a translation error. Because so much hinges on that. Anyway, it's going to be a few streams before we get to that. So, what happens now? What order do things happen in? I think I said at the end of last stream, Simon, there's then a loud shrieking noise and Simon falls asleep. Which I don't think happens right now, but it doesn't particularly matter. So we might as well do it now. Should we do a dream? Should we go see Jimmy? See how Jimmy's doing? We haven't seen Jimmy for a bit. Might as well. Let's go see Jimmy. Okay, so Simon falls asleep. Let's go say hi to Jimmy. So what's Jimmy up to now? Well, shenanigans is the short answer. Short stack. Ooh. What's that? Ah, things are falling everywhere. Hang on. No! Technology! Why do you do this to me? Okay, I'm back. Hello. Okay, now I'm back. Right, Jimmy. Now I hit the microphone. I've been doing this for 2 years. I'm professional. Let's face that way. Mr. Parsnips has left the conversation. I'm back. Hi. How you doing? Right. What music's this? So, typical... hang on, let's have him like this. Oh, good jiff. That's a lava lamp. Was there a lava lamp? Hi Dark, how you doing? I hear you've been remnanting and dying to rats. Oh, the lamp. Yeah. You were unkillable until you weren't. Yeah. Remember, we had this conversation. Invincible and vincible are different. Knife! Mrs. found a new favorite emote. Okay, anybody who doesn't know the story of this game, would anybody like to please explain to me? I've had practice of this. This is pretty cool. Would anybody like to explain to me right now why Jimmy is dressed as a medieval knight? Any guesses? He's dressed as a medieval. Well, in the game he is. I don't know what he's dressed as here, but and he's got. This isn't going to work, is it? Oh no, it's not terrible. Got a sword. Where are we? What's going on? Simon's dressed as a medieval knight. Picked up cosplay as a hobby. These are all good reasons. Oh yeah, TM woke up and Cheery's in a coma. That happened. Yeah. Simon heard a noise, took a nap while visiting Cheery's comatose body, and now Jimmy is cosplaying as a knight. Yeah. Okay, well, here's the second part of this conundrum. Maybe he just really wishes he was Steiner. That hasn't happened yet. Then again, there are already some time shenanigans going on here, so we know this is the past. So yes, Jimmy's in a movie, of course. Why? Very good question. The answer is with the 70 with the I over them with it, and then with both of them the bottom, and then with big old further. And underneath that one's a little bit of a time and stuff. So, of course, all of that is told through environmental storytelling. So by this point, Jimmy has gone off. He's left Win Hill, obviously. I don't know whether he went to get the job as a travel writer, but he's certainly traveling. And I believe he's trying to get money to continue going where he wants to go. Because one thing he wants to do is he wants to find out where Dishy's gone. Dishy has been taken. Oh no. Scary times. And he needs to find her. But he needs money to actually do that. So he found a job acting in a film. But it's not just Jimmy who's acting in the film. No. Let's zoom in. Close up. This music could equally be Jimmy's theme, to be honest. So what I'm drawing now you don't actually see, but I felt like drawing it. I'm drawing a furry suit, basically, yeah. So, this is not a very high budget film. And the story is about a knight and a princess, and the knight has to save the princess from the evil dragon. And someone needs to play the dragon. So, yeah. Jen got roped into that. Why does Jen keep getting roped into things? I don't know. Jen sort of doesn't really have any agency. They just, you know, follow people around and help people out, which is quite nice. They don't have any plans of their own, so gonna help out with whatever they can. So yeah, Jen is the dragon and Jim is the princess. Jim is the knight. Oh, Jim is the princess. Oh yeah, Jimmy's the knight. How'd you like Jen? Jen's good. Jen's a good. Along with Jive. Possibly one of the least idiotic characters in the game. All people we've assigned to be non-binary in this game need more agency. To be fair, this character is probably non-binary in the game itself, because a lot of people, I believe it's a common misconception for people to believe that they're female but they're male in the game, and so they're very androgynous is the word that they would use back then. Androgyne. Yeah. So yeah, this is all happening. Unfortunately, when action is called, it just so happens that an actual dragon is nearby. You had no idea it was until I mentioned in the Drawthrough. Yeah, they're doing their thing. They're living their best life. And as a consequence, the rehearsed play battle between the valiant knight and the dangerous dragon turns into an actual battle. I guess I have to draw it because it's a boss. Well, is it a boss? Probably not. I'm going to do what I usually do with things with long necks and have it or its body facing one way. And then they've got like one of those. One of those sorts of things going on. I think it's got horns. Has it got horns? Well, I just drew it with horns, so it's got to have horns going forwards as well. Looking at this from the outside as opposed to playing it, you realise how much made up on the spot RPG this feels like. It so does, and it's just going to get worse. I wouldn't mind, but like, there were two Final Fantasies being made around the same time that this was made. And the other one was Final Fantasy IX, and 9 was the one where the development was rushed. Not this one. It's like, how is that possible? 9 has a coherent story, at least up until the end. I think it has wings. Wouldn't be much of a dragon if it didn't, I guess. The real dragon was a random encounter roll. It wasn't planned for. Oh, I really want to talk about what I want to do after this. But I can't, because I like surprises. And then Jimmy needs money, so he gets an acting job. He's a knight and Jen's a dragon, whatever. Then a real dragon shows up. Ooh. Yes, and what if giant cube? Oh, another thing. Just as an aside here. The way Jimmy has been told by the producer of the show to hold his sword, or the director, I should say. You actually fight it with a gun, but you do this annoying mini game with a sword. Is to hold the sword. Like that. Now, why is this important? Well, turns out, somehow, I don't know how, at the point pose, he found this emote somewhere. It's going to be murder on the wrist. It's got to be even more murder for the person this influenced, because it is implied that at a young, what's the word? Not informative. Formative. Not informative, formative. At a young formative age, a young Kyle saw the film of this, and this is kind of where his dream of becoming a knight comes from, and this is the way Kyle holds his gunblade. It's never, I don't think it's explicitly stated anywhere in the game, but it's like, it's a bit weird. Because you remember, like, Kyle was going on about, oh, I've always wanted to be the sorceress's knight, and it's like, that came out of nowhere. I think it's connected to this somehow, of like the sorceress managed to corrupt his childhood memories a little bit. Of all the things to explain, I know. But yeah, this is how Kyle holds his thing. Actually, if we pop back to last stream, yeah, like that. I've been planting the seed since the beginning. I've just realised I've still got that quote on screen. We'll just leave it there. I'll make it a bit smaller for the purposes of... I'll put it down there. Yeah, so I just thought I'd mention that. Then you have a fight. Actually, is Jim here? Jim might be here. I can't remember. If Jim's here, they don't do anything. Jimmy and Jen definitely are. Anyway, once this is over, they notice off in the background over some mountains, they notice it probably was, it's very misty, so let's try and emulate it. Oh, misty. Ooh. Misty mountains. They notice something rather peculiar. Just sort of hovering above the skyline. I'm like, ooh, what's that?
Chris.
Hello? Snow. Oh my god. No! Stop it. I need new cables. Sorry about that. How long's that been going on for? Apologies. Good thing I got the text-to-speech, isn't it? Hello. Honestly. Yeah, there we go. Said like I throttled my mic. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a bit of a dodgy connection over there somewhere. I need to sort that out. The laptop's in the way at the moment. Chat's in the way of me seeing that there's a problem, so you have to alert me. Poor microphone. Oh, there. There. Either that or Freyman tried to call through the cables. Freyman has not yet attained that power. I think they're content with the power they have. Luckily. Yeah, so after this happens, a strange big flying cube is seen hovering over in the distance. And the characters are like, what's that? And then the dream ends. Back to the real world. Where's Jen in this fight? Jen's also here. But being as entertained as previously. Only with, if you recall, their weapons are blades on their wrists. I'm also here. There we go. They're helping. So yeah, Jen joins in with the fight. Actually, I think what happens is that before the cameras roll, Jen runs back out of shot to get into position ready to come on as the dragon. But then it's like ambushed by the dragon or something like that, and it's like, oof, ow, off screen. And then the real dragon comes on and is like, oh, that's a very good costume. And so on and so forth. And then Jen comes on like, hey guys, that's not me. That's an actual dragon. Do you think we should do something about this? Anywho. Thank you for the heads up about the microphone, by the way. Apologies. Sure. Again, Jen, non-binary characters, doing a good. Right. Get rid of that. So, we're back to the real world. And the characters decide that it's probably a good idea to do a couple of things at this point. Firstly, we should probably go and see the sorceress and see what the hell's going on there. The sorceress, we are informed, is back at the orphanage. So we go and do that. We also decide that it's probably a good idea to go and see, or try and find, Dishonored Jessie. Unfortunately, we don't know where she is. She was taken by Seaman, and we need to work out where that is. But if you remember, the Seaman work for the sorceress. They are the sorceress's personal seed, the white seed. I'm just relaying what happens in the game. So maybe TM knows something about where Dishonored Jessie is. Boom! I'm bringing this all together, even if the game doesn't. Oh no! Miss has a knife. I forgot. Where's the sorceress back at the orphanage? We will discuss this. In due time. Guess the character. Suddenly grown eyebrows. Slightly pensive. Don't really want to give him the full-on anger, because it makes no sense for him to be full-on angry. But anyway. How'd she even get there? We flashed forward a little bit. Cheery's been in a coma for a while, and we've just come out of ours, so... yeah, the Garbadian army has the Garbadian army? I guess so? I guess the Garbadian army have just given up? Or did they go somewhere else? I don't know. I don't think we ever meet them again. Oh no, 2 knives. I'm too powerful. It's amazing just how much more he looks like the character in the game when I give him a fur collar. This is a replacement for a personality, I guess. So, Simon naturally confronts the villain of the game and asks them to explain what on earth has been going on. And why his sudden love interest is in a coma, and what to do about it. Oh no, one-winged angel. Ah! Sephi, knife you're off. Sephi knife. Sephi... Knife of... Jenifer. Well, that's the point. I did do a cover of a piece of music from Final Fantasy VIII, so I guess I've got to draw myself as Simon. Yep, that's how people look, right? Foreshortened. We're looking down on it. Yeah, we're not there yet, game. Give me a couple of streams. Actually, probably just one. Maybe today. Actually, now I think about it. If we're lucky. I've got some stuff to explain. Right. So we go to the orphanage and we find out that Sorceress is there. She's not the only one who's there. I don't think I've ever really worked out a consistent way to draw the Sorceress. I think she had like a bun or something. You're watching Aaron from Growing Webs do his full playthrough of Kingdom Hearts in one sitting. And Simon was in it, but it took you a hot second to realise who it was because they were calling him You Don't Know, You Forget the Name Something Daft. Yes, he was called... Leon? Yeah, Leon. No, Simon's name is Squall. But in Kingdom Hearts he's called Leon, for reasons that will make ever so slightly more sense right at the end of the Drawthrough. Not a lot of sense. Yeah, it's called Leonhardt, but even then, like, I don't ask that people call me Pass. Like I'm on University Challenge or something. Oh, inexplicably, the Sorceress is still wearing all of her evil clothes. She does not take them off. She does not revert back to a normal outfit. I refer to him as Pass. Oh, is there a Kiro? Hello, Kiro. How you doing? We've just had a dream in which, things happened. Right, hang on, I can just show you. In which that happened. There was a dragon. There was a film being filmed. And Jimmy was a knight, and Jen was a dragon. And that's all that's happened. Moving on, we go back to the orphan area. Before they exiled the FF from it, yeah. I did watch a playthrough of the third one, and I was like, has this got anything to do with Final Fantasy anymore? Anyway, so, Fly's here. Do you remember Fly? He used to be the headmaster of the school. He's also married to the Sorceress. So we're going to get some explanations here, as to what on earth has actually been going on. So... First of all, he's like, right, okay, Sorceress is here, but I want your promise that you're not gonna, you know, kill her or anything, because she's my wife and I've got to look after her. It's like, you literally told us to assassinate her. And he was like, yeah, but that's different. Also, do you want your job back? I've just retired. Now there's not a sorceress to deal with, maybe you can be less of a coward and actually do your job. But is he here how? People have the ability to travel. Actually, now I think about it, this is in a continent with literally nothing else on it. So, that is a good question. How did they get here? I'm going to say they can find their own method of transportation, but can they? Really? The only methods of transportation in this world are trains and flying schools. So far. It wouldn't be a Final Fantasy without an increasing progression of absurd modes of transport. Hoverboard, good point. That we have seen hoverboards. You can also play cards with the sorceress at this point. Which, if you want to get all the cards, is important, because I think she has her own card. Sometime since the battle, maybe he just walked across an ocean. Actually, no, the fight did take place above the orphanage, so maybe they fell off. There may be many reasons, but it doesn't matter. Oh, we'll get to that. I will make that a thing. When we get to that in the story, I'm going to make that a thing, and I'm going to be angry. There's a reason I had it screenshot on my computer. Anyway. I believe, if I remember correctly, I was just sort of half paying attention to the story on my last playthrough, and I came across that line, I accidentally skipped it, and then went, hang on, what? And then I reloaded an old save just to get back to that point to make sure I read what it was properly. I was like, that really did just say that. I'm going to screenshot this. So yeah. That was also the playthrough when I actually paid attention to what was happening at the scene with the orphanage of plot convenience, and where they go through all of this soul searching and discover that the sorceress actually was a good person who raised us as a child. What should we do? Let's kill her anyway. We don't know what else to do. We might as well kill her. Is that really your conclusion for this? Oh dear. Why is Flower not all for not killing his wife before he wanted us to do that? It's complicated, and the sorceress gives us an explanation. Also, he's very small and floating. He's on a rock. So, what happens? The sorceress explained. You see, for the past however long she's been doing the sorceress things, she has not actually been in control of her body. How do hands work? Thumb here, cool. Because she is not the only sorceress. Sorceresses are a bit of a thing, and they have been a bit of a thing for a while. Nobody really knows who a sorceress is going to be when they're born. Certain women just have the power to be sorceresses. And she happened to be one, but she was also lucky in as much as she knew that she would become one and could set up contingencies for if that happened and it went badly. As a consequence, she and her husband set up some military schools for the purposes of, if I turn into a sorceress and I turn evil, hey, maybe you should do something about that. So that's what Seed's all about, is that she set it up, and all sorceresses are bad. No, not true. You can be a sorceress and you can be good, but you can be powerful. And when you're powerful, other people might want to use that power, particularly people who are more powerful than you, but who have no agency where you are. So, question, one of many, I'm sure. And she took over to the military schools. Look, it wasn't a fantastic plan. I think she's got... Oh no, that's Dishonored Jessie. Oh, she has the feathers, yeah. Yeah, so she, oh, she's also got a long dress on, which is great. I don't have to draw legs. So yeah, so she was possessed by another sorceress. There we are, Ragnar already knows where this is going. It's timey-wimey nonsense now. She was being possessed by a sorceress from the future. She was being possessed through time by a sorceress from the future. How is that possible? Well, what do you think we've been doing when we've been going into dreams? We've been going back in time, and we've been inhabiting the bodies of people from the past. So there's this other sorceress from the future called, well, what is she called? We need to name her. This is not, it is. Oh yes, it is. Oh yes, it is. By the way, this is the second of the two important plot points in the game. The first is love. The second is succession of witches.
Done. Done. Dewey-Yuan.
Dewey-Yuan, yes. Yes, love and succession of witches. Funnily enough, the main theme of this game is called Phthos Lusec Vicos Winosec, which looks like Latin, but it's literally just an anagram of the words love and succession of witches. Hazel did a good job, yeah. So it's literally in the title opening theme. And it takes till disc 3 for either of those things to happen. Anyway. So yeah, who is the big evil sorceress from the future? Whatever her name is. She has been possessing people in the present for the purposes of being powerful in the present. I guess I can kind of give away a little bit of spoilers for later, because there is a good question to ask at this point, which is, why is she doing that? And the answer is on screen. But we'll get to that. So yeah, evil sorceress from the future, very powerful, going back in time, possessing people. Only possessing people with an element of control that we didn't have. When we've been going back to Jimmy and so on and so forth. And this is the thing that's kind of been going on, it's kind of gone on before. But what happened when there was that big flash of light is that wasn't us really beating TM. It's TM. TM's good now. She's a good. She's always been a good. She was just possessed by a bad. Do we learn this now? Oh, that was okay. This is what we learn. That was the sorceress from the future leaving the body of TM. And clearly, something else weird happened because Cheery turned into a zombie and then fell unconscious. And we've kind of got to know what that's all about. Now, Simon has an idea, which was stupid plot point. I'll go with that. I don't mind. It's slightly less ridiculous than the actual name, but yeah. So there have been people who, women throughout history who have been capable of becoming sorceresses and who are susceptible to magical power and all that sort of stuff. And we happen to know. I assume TM knows this because she looked after one of them. So TM is one. She's a sorceress. She's capable of having magical power. So is Dishonored Jessie. Dishonored Jessie is also capable of becoming a sorceress, and as a consequence, also capable of becoming possessed. To become a evil sorceress by stupid plot point, or just ST for short. STPP, STPP. We'll go to STPP. We'll go with that. Or stop for short. Because she needed to be important somehow. Well, the thing is, she was the one who keeps sending us back into the past. With the brains and such. Because she is in some way attached to Jimmy, having grown up with Jimmy around. Anyway. Yeah, what point did she go to the orphanage? Before or after that? After, I guess. Oh, it would be after. Is it after? I don't know. Anyway. Oh, it would be, yeah. Anywho, so it is decided that it sort of makes sense that we should probably try and find Dishonored Jessie, because who knows what's going to happen now. But we should also find her because Simon comes up with a plan. What a wonderful idea. Simon has a plan. That if we find Dishonored Jessie and we get Dishonored Jessie to take us back to the past, but to take us back to the last stream, in order to try and stop Cheery from falling into a coma. That's his plan. Is that by sending us in a dream back to ourselves, we can somehow change what happened in the past, thereby stopping Cheery from being in a coma. He wants to stop Cheery being in a coma, and his plan, rather than getting her out of the coma, is to stop her getting in the coma in the first place. So that's why he wants to find Dishonored Jessie. Everyone else is like, we should probably stop another world-ending sorceress possession happening. But, you know, Simon's got his priorities. Stupid though they may be. The pacing in this game is odd. It's a bit peculiar. Hi, Myths. It gets worse. Don't worry. It gets worse. Oh, do you need Dishonored to do that? Can't TM just do that? No, this is something special about Dishonored Jessie. This isn't something that every sorceress has. And that will be gone into more detail later. So clearly, Stop, STPP, has the ability to somehow go into the past and possess people to a much stronger extent than Dishonored Jessie can, because we can't change what they do, it seems, so far. Anyway. We'll get to that. How do we know Dishonored has that power? She told us in the 5 seconds we met, and then we shouted at her, and then she left. Yeah, that was when the White Seed came, the seamen. They popped in to get her. And now we don't know where they are. But the sorceress does, because they're hers. Well, she doesn't actually know exactly where they are because she's just come out of a year-long trance or whatever. She's too distracted by shouting at you about White Sea. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. So, yeah, she says, look, they're not going to want to talk to you. Their orders are basically to protect Dishonored Jessie, and they're not going to take anyone's word for it. I will give you a letter of commendation from me, the sane me, not the evil me, and because they're mine, because they're my White Seed, they will let you on board and hopefully let you see Dishonored Jessie, because this was another contingency that TM set up in the event that everything went wrong. You feel so tired. Yeah, it's... Oh, Frame Man. Frame Man's coming in to give you a bit of a break. Go on, Frame Man. You can all have a bit of a rest. Oh, we're halfway through the stream already. My word, I haven't drawn anything. Well, this is a wordy one. Right, so she gives us a letter of authority, to go and find the White Seed, and we can give that over and say, hey, we're actually on here on the instructions of the sorceress. The sorceress is good now. Can we see Dishonored Jessie? So after some really annoying searching for the boat, because even though I've played this game so many times and I know where it is, I still can't find it. After eventually finding it in a random atoll somewhere, on a continent that is made up entirely of jagged lines, you find the boat. So we go back to the boat with all of the White Seed on it. We're on a boat. This is a boat. Oh, by the way, we now have an explanation as to this silent film music now. This is the music that plays when the film is being filmed. Hey, look, Jim must be here. That's how you know it's a ship. Right. There's a porthole down there somewhere. Okay, so you get on the ship. Great thing about Simon. And a couple of interesting things happen on the ship. First of all, they're like, get off our ship. And then you hand over the letter and they're like, oh, hi, how you doing? Yeah. We have some news. These were the ones that had the bandanas over their eyes. Like... Noodle. No, I'm not going to be doing a lot of talking, so I should probably skip that. Everyone's just waving in this episode. So yeah, we're actually starting to get into the nitty-gritty of this story. How are you liking it? You enjoying this possession from the future storyline? You're not? No. That's a shame. It's not going to get any better. Back to the Future did it better. Well, we're not done with it yet. So yeah, the white cedar here. There's some interesting ideas here, but it's done so weirdly. I know you could write such a good story with these elements. Also, if STPP is the sorceress from the future, wouldn't she know TM is no longer possessed? Also, what even would their plan be? It's dumb and not in a good way. We know what their plan is, it's on the screen. So I guess the implication here is, it will become clearer later, but the implication here is that so far we've been able to observe the past via Dishonored Jesse sending us back, but we haven't really been able to do anything that didn't already happen. But STPP appears to have the ability to control the past and change things. What do you mean the plan's on the screen? Is it it doesn't matter? It might be. That's the reason for the plan. The plan is, well, weird. The plan, yeah. The plan... I can't wait until I get to those two words. Because those two words are simultaneously the worst words and the best words. So we'll get to that. That's a few streams down the line. But we already know one of the words. It's time. But there's another one. We'll get to it. Anyway, we get on board the ship and we find out, oh no, Dishonored Jesse isn't here. Turns out, some weird looking soldiers that look like Spider-Man came on board and said, hey, is Dishonored Jesse here? We're looking for Dishonored Jesse. And they said, nope, never heard of her. Goodbye. Me, why me? Yes, the first word is time. I have two words for you. The first word is time, and the second word is we why me. I can't even do it. Me why me. Tie me why me. Wibbly wobbly, tie me why. I would be happy. The wibbly wobbly bit makes sense actually. I don't know if I'm going to be able to draw that bit. I'll try. I'll try my best. But that's for later. Don't worry about it. So anyway, Spider-Man came on board. And asked where Dishonored Jesse was, and we said, no. But as they were sailing away, convinced that we didn't know where she was, Dishonored Jessie ran out of her cabin and jumped on board their ship. Which is a bit odd. So, yeah. The soldiers said, yeah, she literally ran. She ran and jumped off onto the other ship, which I think was taller than this one. I don't know how she did that. Well done. She has the ability to send people's brains back into the past and jump really high. She got that from Final Fantasy VII. How could she just run out? Plot convenience. Anyway, she did. She ran away. And the soldiers, Spider-Man soldiers, they are from Esther, which is a place we haven't been to yet, but it is a place we have heard about before. If you remember way back in a different dream. I don't even know what stream this would be. Stream 6, maybe? A bit earlier than that. 5. Here we go. So do you remember this dream where we found a massive crystal block? This was Jimmy and Jen and all that, and they got hurt and they had to jump off a cliff. They fought some funky looking friends. Estus. Estus. They fought some Estus soldiers, who looked like Spider-Man. So they're a bit weird. But we have at least heard of them before. And they were here doing crystal stuff, whatever. But these are the same people who were looking for Dishonored Jessie, and Dishonored Jessie wanted to be found by them? Seems a little bit suspicious, but we'll go for it. So we have to find Esther. Now, that's a bit of a problem, because Esther is known for being a very reclusive society, and they have not been visited by outside visitors for bloody ages. Nobody really truly knows where they are, we just know that they are across the sea somewhere. Luckily, we have a big flying space potato, so we can probably do that. But they're not going to let anybody in just from flying space potatoes. No siree. They'll probably see that as a threat. So we've got to find a different way in. The only known connection, this mysterious, never before contacted place that doesn't want anything to do with anybody, is the giant railway that goes all the way across the sea. If you remember Fisherman's Horizon, where is... Oh, there's Dishonored Jessie explaining everything to us. There it is, there's Fisherman's Horizon. Do you remember this massive railway that's going all the way across the ocean that Fisherman's Horizon is just sort of attached to? That used to connect Delling City, what's it called? Jimson City to Estus. Railway across the ocean is literally across like half the map. It's sort of demi-circumnavigates the entire globe. It's a big old thing. And you know, this very secretive society, evidently they haven't destroyed it or anything. Or closed it off or whatever, so it's just sort of there. But no one drives trains across it, so we've got to find another way. So everybody heads to Fisherman's Horizon, because they're like, well, this is a good starting point. Actually, no, before that happens, we find some other people on the boat. Ooh, exciting stuff, I know. There's a finish what they had planned for the day. There's still 2 hours left of the session, so the GM is making stuff up as they go. There's more than 2 hours left of this session. This was like a 24-hour live stream, and the story ended on hour 3. I'm like, So who else would you like to venture is also on this boat? The one thing I will say, actually, some people that are on this boat, a lot of kids running around on this boat. Because I guess the idea here is that this became the orphanage. Because the orphanage was still a running orphanage, but when the sorceress turned evil, you can't keep the kids in the orphanage because who knows what's going to happen. So they made a traveling orphanage on a boat so that the sorceress wouldn't know where it was. Yeah, so there's lots of kids. This is the orphanage boat. The white seed boat is the orphanage boat. This is a bit suspicious, but anyway. They made a travelling orphanage on the boat, they did. Alright there, miss. Like in the orphanage, just stay where it was because the sorceress was there, and if the sorceress became evil, who knows what would have happened to the kids? You don't want evil sorceress attacking kids, do you? Gotta keep the kids safe. How do you make somebody look up with bead eyes? Were we ever on the boat, or did that happen after we graduated from the orphanage? I guess not. And if we did, we wouldn't remember it. So... But she was in charge of the orphanage. She was in charge of the orphanage, but that was back before she got possessed. So she was in charge of the orphanage, she was a nice person, she had magical powers, but she was a nice person. Why did she start an orphanage and just put it on the boat? She was running the orphanage, and then she found out that, oh, hang on, at some point in the future I might be possessed by an evil sorceress from the future. I should probably make contingencies for if that happens and make sure all the kids are safe. So I will move my orphanage to a boat so that it can travel around the world and I won't know where it is if I turn evil. And then she turned evil because she got possessed. And she didn't know where the boat was, so she couldn't do anything. Save the kids. How do you even figure that out? I don't know. Actually. I don't know how she does figure that out. She's magical, I guess. There are characters in this game who do know the mechanics behind all this, but I don't know if they communicated with her at some point. I guess they might have. Yeah, the orphanage wasn't always on the orphanage was in a lighthouse. Well, it was in a building next to a lighthouse. But then it got moved to a boat in order that the kids couldn't be found. Anyway, I can't remember how I drew these characters, so probably wasn't like that. Hang on. I'm gonna spoil the surprise by looking back to make sure I can draw these characters properly. Is it about there? Bit before that. Hey, Jimmy, Jen, and Jim. Jimmy and Jen. There's Jive. There we are. That was a big nose. Cool. And like an uppity thing. Cool. Anyway, yeah, Pinches and Patches are on the boat. I guess they're also refugees, so they count as people who need saving, because they got stuck in a town that was unoccupied. I don't know if the town's not occupied anymore. It might still be occupied, I'm not sure. Pinches is still having stomach troubles. At least something good comes out of this stream. So should I explain what happens here, or should I leave Chibi with the implication that there are actually characters that are good in this game? Because yeah, it's optional. You don't have to do it, I guess. But you can say hello to them. Anyway, so the one thing that does happen here, for sure, is we say, "Hey, Pinches, Patches, how we're all doing?" And they say, "Yeah, we're doing good. We're here. Timber's still under control, but whatever, we're here. We're alive, so that's cool. We got out, we found a train ticket in the end. Was it worth taking Velma with you?" And we say no. They're going to ruin Pinches and Patches for you. Possibly one. But I can't remember which one it is, so we'll leave it at that. So yeah, Patches fits right in because it's got the same sort of headwear. I don't have to. I can just leave it at that. Because actually, do you know what? We didn't even get the thing. I didn't even mention the thing that we need to ruin this character. So we're not going to do it. These characters are fine. And they're great. But they are angry at us because they say, quite understandably, how's Cheery doing? You know, last time we saw her, she was leaving with you. And we said, hey, make sure you look after her. How's she doing? And we say, she's in a coma. And then Pinches attempts to punch us. Because, for obvious reasons, I think. And it takes a while for him to calm down, but we explain, hey, look, it's not our fault, and we've got a plan. We know what we're doing, kind of. We need to go to a far-off land that may or may not exist to find somebody who can send people back into the past, into people's dreams, so that we might be able to go back and stop a sorceress from the future from ruining her body somehow and putting her in a coma. He believes this. I think Chibi suffered enough, yeah. So Pinches and Patches, they're fine. So yeah, they're worried about Cheery basically because they're friends with Cheery and Cheery is their boss, and they want to make sure she's all right. They say, "Wow, what a stupid plan." They should do, but they don't. Anyway, yeah, they're here. They're here and they're fine. Hooray! Characters are fine. Not everybody died. Has anyone died? Has anyone died? Oh yeah, the president died. Has anyone significant died? Apart from Simon, obviously. Yeah, so that happens. Yeah. I think that's all that happens here. There's also a draw point with Holy. That's neither here nor there. So. Holy, the white magic. White seed. I get it. Right. So, yes. If anyone ever wanted a connection between white seed and floral Jessie, there's one. So. What are we doing? We have a plan. It's the worst plan in the world, but don't worry, there will be worse coming up later. So, we're going to go to mysterious place nobody ever goes to by traveling across the transoceanic railway system. And in order to find Dishonored Jessie, who may or may not actually be there, to send us back into the past to make sure that she doesn't fall into a coma. That's the plan. Why is everyone so stupid? There's a reason I wanted to do this as the draw through. If we ever do the Final Fantasy IX one, it's going to be very underwhelming because the story of that is not entirely driven forward by incompetence. There's a bit of it, don't get me wrong, but not a lot. So yeah, we return to where we started. No. There we are. We return to Simon being sad that Cheery is in a coma. And he's like, you're still in a coma. That would have helped if you'd stopped, but here we are. Simon's got a good excuse, he's 12. He's also a strong 12-year-old because he's a child soldier. So what he does is he decides, do you know what? I'm not going to burden anyone else with this. You know, the world's fine now. There's not a sorceress running amok and killing people. This is my problem, and I will deal with this on my own. And so Simon grabs Cheery, carries her on his back, and begins to walk the entire length of the transoceanic railway system. With Cheery on his back. I don't know quite how it works. I think she just sort of just flopped over.
Asterisk rolls eyes so hard asterisk.
Look, it's a love story. He's in love. Quick reminder that this railway line does literally cross half of the globe. And he decides to do it on foot. Kyle knocked the final 0.1 brain cell out of it. Since when? Since the end of last stream. I still love they don't even like each other, yeah. Already know Jives is the brains of the operation. Jive is also here, just wondering what on earth is actually happening. Jive's like, what? We can get a train. Slow down. You literally hijacked a train earlier in this story. Oh, she has boots, didn't she? Yeah. The only reason they're even remotely considered love interest is because they're both on the cover of the game. Also, literally everyone else was worried about the Dishonor becoming an evil sorceress. Why is it suddenly like, oh, this is just my problem? How edgy can you be, Simon? Edgy and stupid isn't a good look. That's his entire brand. You can't abandon it now. You're both tired and angry at Simon. Don't worry, because you may be angry at Simon for being a dimwit, but everybody else just is. They know what Simon's like. So they somehow managed to get ahead of him, and they're waiting for him further down the line. They're just like, Simon, you're an idiot. What are you doing? We're coming with you. Somehow, I don't know how. I guess this was happening like while he was in the infirmary, and they were like, I bet I know what he's gonna do. It would have been weird if he didn't, and they just, went on all this for nothing. Just standing there for like hours, and he's still in the infirmary. They have a flying boat, and he walks. I mean, he probably would have noticed the big flying space potato going past him. I had to hazard a guess. Also, you don't have the space potato at the end of this, so I'm assuming you walk. Yeah, there we go. Would he though? He did actually stop. There is a bit where he stops and he talks to Cheery, and says something about love. I don't know. I didn't pay attention. But they're still on literally a one-track thing. Like, they couldn't have walked past him. I don't think he fell asleep or anything, did he? I wouldn't put it past him. Their shoes work, right? Yeah, so this bit doesn't make an awful lot of sense. But then again, when could I say that at any point in this draw through? So that's basically what's happening right now. Idiocy, also weird tattoo. Also jive. How do dogs? Always jive. So yeah, we're now walking across transcontinental train tracks. So we do this for like 7 years. And eventually we make our way to the other side. By the way, the sorceress decided to come with. Let's make this a bit shorter. Because who needs rails? Or railings, I should say. Then we can see the horizon. There's the sun, there's the sunset. Oh, why? Why? I don't know. Apparently, Estus is a place where they know an awful lot about magic and sorceresses and all that sort of stuff. And they might apparently have a way to have people lose their sorceress power somehow. And TM's like, I kind of don't want these powers anymore if it means I might take over the world and become evil. So let's see if Estus maybe have a way of getting rid of them for me. So I'm tagging along. So that's why she's coming along. How do we know that? I thought they were a super secret society. There may be many reasons, but it doesn't matter. No, I honestly don't know why. For a super secret society, we seem to know an awful lot about them. But, yeah. Anyway, so we get to the end of the transcontinental, and I want to get up a world map, and I want to show you what this thing is. This thing we are walking along on foot. Is there one that doesn't have spoilers? Okay, that'll do. That's simple. Okay, so here's the world map. I don't know why it's red. Oh, I know why it's red. There it is. There's the world map, right? Okay. So this is, for example, this is where the space potato was. And this is Balam. Blam, blah, blah, blam. I think like around here is the capital city, and there's like an underground tunnel going along there. That's where we got there. I think the prison's over here somewhere. There's the missile base, and like this was like a car journey and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, here's the bridge. Goes from there to there. The Fisherman's Horizon's around there. So we're walking approximately that length. Does that illustrate what's happening? And this is the world. So it's about... Oh no, it's not half the world, I guess. So the length of the bridge is probably about a fifth of the world's circumference? So about a tenth of the world's circumference. What's the Earth's circumference? The Earth's circumference is approximately 40,000 kilometers. So that's about 4,000 kilometers. You can walk at about 3 miles an hour, which is about what? 4, 5, 2, 3 kilometers an hour is about 2 miles an hour, I guess. Is the world a sphere or a donut? It's a donut. Actually, both. It's a fake sphere, but it's actually a donut. I know it can't be both topologically, but you can get a spherical map and a flat map in this game. But the fact that both work implies that the flat map is probably the right one. So if you walked at 2 miles an hour, given that you're carrying another human being, that would take you approximately 2,000 hours. Take you approximately 83 days, non-stop walking, to get to the other side. So let's assume you're only walking for 16 hours a day. That makes sense. Okay, 125 days. That's more like it. Okay, so it takes 125 days. Why are we not taking the train? No trains actually travel along this rail. It was made defunct ages ago. My assumption is that at some point we hijack a train or something and we make our way there. I don't know. But, yeah. So that happens. And what do we find at the end? Do we find the super secret magical city? Do we find the place that has all of the answers to everything? Or do we find just a desert made of salt? It's like got like weird cracked sort of bits sticking up under the ground and sort of crevices and bones of dinosaurs and it just seems to go on into the distance infinitely. It's like, well, this isn't exactly what we hoped for, was it? Whether we drive a car over the rails or a bike, like anything better than walking, we have a flying school. So one thing we do find is we find a big old wall. Big old weird fence surrounding this entire continent, so we can't possibly fly anything into it. Isn't that convenient? Doesn't explain why we can't get a bike or something on the rails, but or one of those seesaw things. That would be good. Fly over it. So the flying space potato doesn't really fly, it floats. It can't really go at an arbitrary altitude. For reasons. Reasons to do with potential energy. But yeah, so we find the salt plains, and we must cross the salt plains in order to get to the other side, which is presumably a fantastic city, even though it looks like there's literally nothing for miles. But we have already walked 1/10 of the circumference of the Earth. We've been walking for 125 days. We might as well walk for a bit more. So we carry on, and in the process we have to fight a boss, because we haven't had a boss for a while, so let's do that. I say fight a boss. It's an undead boss, what with the skeletons and all that. The convenient ancient tech has been dropped off at the edge. The convenient ancient tech, I think, is still back at Fisherman's Horizon. Could have still taken it to the continent, but it's... Oh, hang on. I guess the convenient ancient tech didn't cover fences. Sorry, I read the first line of Chibi's statement. Then evidently Ragdoll posted something, and I read the second half of Ragdoll's statement. Yeah, it doesn't cover. It's a very tall fence. It's a very tall electric fence. Yeah, I don't know. Look, if we're gonna pick holes in this, we'll be here literally forever. So, yeah. So I need to draw Abaddon. Oh yeah, you gotta have an Abaddon in a Final Fantasy game. Undead boss. Chuck a phoenix down at it. Jimmy, stop filming your film. What does Abaddon look like? I don't know. I've forgotten. I literally don't know. You chuck a phoenix down at it and it just dies. So... you're gonna give it a spooky face. Some funky horns. I literally can't remember what this looks like, so... You get in what you get. I think it's got like some sort of feathery thing on the side of its head. Or like big ears or something. We have another horn there, why not? And some more horns back here. I think it's got little wings. So yeah, at least I hope people are understanding why I said at the start of this stream, this is where I stop paying attention to the story. When I usually play it. It's like... Why? There we go, there's another bad one. Doesn't look anything like the thing. Yeah, it's not a terrible starting point for a design, to be honest. Like, a hell of a lot of development, but I'm not too upset about it. Yeah, so that's cool. So we do that, and then we make our way across the salt flats, salt plains, made of salt. It's an ice level, basically, but they wanted it to not be an ice level, so it's a salt level. And we look out over the horizon, and it's just stretching infinitely into salt. Big old cracks of salt blocks and stuff. And we're standing on one. Oh, do I have time to draw what's coming up next? And it just stretches off and off and off and off. There's a lot of salt. Chibi's full of salt. I know. So we're like here. Because the game turned stupid. What do you mean turn stupid? Gonna get stupider. What do you think? Okay, what do you think we see now? Now that we're looking out on an infinite plane of salt. What do you think we see? It was always stupid. Insert astronaut meme. Which is oddly appropriate for something else that's going to happen later. Chibi, the source of the salt. Just a massive chibi over here. Sort of. Just salt pouring right out. You're very welcome. No, what we see, I can cheat for this one, because it needs to be precise, is a hexagon. What do you think we see next? I've given you all the clues, you should be able to understand what's happening. There's salt and there's a hexagon. Obviously, what you see next is a ladder leading up to the hexagon. That's just sort of floating there. Now, we fought the demons, we did that. Just saw the chibi in the background. So obviously, we climb the ladder up to the hexagon. And then the hexagon opens, revealing a big old hexagonal tunnel. Probably got a proper floor, isn't it? Yeah, and so we can progress further down this strange floating tunnel. And we do that, and we come into a room. Where we stand on a hexagon. A lot of hexagons are going to happen over the course of the next couple of streams. I'm going to need all the help I can get, so let's just grab that. Sorry, Jive. You can imply that all the other characters are here as well. I don't really have time to draw them. And we're in. I'm gonna make everything hexagons. So we enter in to this small room. It's all made of metal. And what do you think happens now? Come on, follow the pattern. Hexagon, ladder, small room. What now? It's like one of those IQ tests. Surely you can spot the pattern. It's so obvious. Elevator. Good call. Kind of. So the room zips up. And we fly into a tube. Test tube, yeah. Gotta do it. An elevator label test tube. Okay. There we go. And the tube that we're traveling in is transparent. Isn't that great? So what does that mean? That means we can see outside. What does that mean? That means that we can see the giant futuristic city that we've just wandered into. It's got like wobbly buildings. So welcome to Estes. They have like hover cars here. Everything's made of plastic for some reason. Like the roads are like see-through, you can see down underneath them, which is probably terrible for people afraid of heights, now I think about it. They've got buildings that look like the potions from the old Pokemon cards. They look weird. They're like big old skyscrapers. You can never live somewhere like that. Yeah, I just thought about that as I said it. It's literally, they are translucent roads. You can see right down through them and they're like 500 feet off the floor. Like, that sounds terrifying. I don't like driving as it is, let alone on those. So yeah, mega futuristic city. Turns out that infinite salt plain that you were about to walk across, it's mostly an electrical illusion. You were looking at an illusion. It was a screen the whole time. Weird shaped buildings. And now I can put on the music. I can explain what this music is. Finally. Because it's really weird. Where is it? There we are. This is the music that plays in the city. Wibbly wobbly is like a big old circular building here with some stuff. And some more hover cars. It's difficult to draw a futuristic city, it turns out. The CG is somewhat more impressive than this doodle, but I think you get the idea. And this is hovering as well. Just sort of floating around. You get the idea. So this is what the secretive city has been doing all its time. Is basically becoming the future. I personally consider for reasons that will become apparent next stream. If the orphanage is called the Orphanage of Plot Convenience, then this can be called the City of Plot Convenience. Because basically this is the future because they needed things from the future to advance the plot. And they've already messed enough with the technology of the world. It's like, are we demons in castles, or are we machine guns, or are we swords, or are we sniper rifle assassinations, or... This is fine. This is absolutely fine. And what do you think we do as soon as we arrive at our destination? The Hexagon docks by the entrance. So obviously, you enter a hyper-futuristic place with technology way in advance of anything you have ever seen anywhere else on the Earth. And you arrive at the entrance. Jive is just going to be perpetually confused for this entire draw-through. And of course, the first thing you do is hear some very high-pitched music, or very high-pitched sounds, and fall asleep. And with that cliffhanger, we end the stream. Thank you, Frame Man. Okay, Frame Man, I know you didn't enjoy the cliffhanger. That's fine. That's fine. Calm down. Yeah. How's everybody enjoying Disc 3? Is it good? Jigglypuff? What? Sound effects in the background? Yeah, that's Silence in Motion, the theme tune of Estus. Yeah. It's weird. Oh, who knocked us out? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Jive is the audience surrogate. Dare ask me whether this is good? Enjoying everyone's reactions. I wasn't expecting this bit to be the bit that broke everyone. There are other bits before and after this that I thought would be more likely, but yeah. Again, I would like to reiterate there is a popular fan theory that at the end of Disc 1, Simon is actually killed and everything here is a post-death fever dream. And the fact that we get to this point in the game and go, no, you know what, that makes more sense than this being real, is indicative of how well written this game is. And it's only going to get better because we've just turned up in the future city and we've got stuff to do here. It's going to be a good time, by which I mean it's going to be a bad time. What else have we got to do here? We got to do... So I'm guessing, depending on whether I want to draw all of the bosses in the final area, we've probably only got like 4 or 5 more streams of this. Thought you were ready for weird stuff, you weren't ready for Sorceress was mind controlled by a future sorceress who is actually evil. Yes. But of course, 2 sorceresses cannot be a succession. No. We will learn more about other sorceresses later on. Next year. In the future. Thank you for coming along. Yeah, it's weird. This game gets weird. I said this game gets weird. All makes sense to you, yeah. And we still haven't rubbed the lamp. So, you have to wait a whole year to see what happens next. I know. The themes of this game are stupid. Yeah. To be fair, I think like most Final Fantasies kind of lose themselves at the end. I think this one loses itself sooner than most. Because even 9, like I love the story of 9, but the end of 9 is just bonkers. Yeah. So thanks for coming along. I hope you're enjoying this absolute insanity. It will continue. We may even learn of my favourite method of propulsion next time. That'll be fun. I would have to draw that. No, we will. We'll have to, yeah. That's relatively early on next time. Ah, damn. This one was lost from the beginning. Like it died, came back to life, and then started digging deep. This is a post-death fever dream, which consists mostly of digging. You like all of the excuse me what moments in 10? I feel like there aren't. Well, maybe there are. But they feel more like you're now discovering something about the world rather than that literally came out of nowhere. It's like, it's quite clever that it does it through the lens of somebody who has no idea what's going on. But yeah, there are some excuse me what moments in 10. Yeah, I forgot about some of them. Yeah. You know, we're talking about in 8 how, you know, all of this might be a post-death fever dream. In 10, post-death means nothing. Anyway, so I don't mind saying that's going to be a while till we get around to that game. Thanks for coming along, everyone. Hope you had a grand old mad time. So tomorrow, contrary to what it says here, we're not going to be doing some games. We're going to be doing... Hang on, I can modify this. It's not some games, it is some... Summary. Yeah. OBS, you... Oh, you are awful. Yeah. So we're going to be doing the a little chat about what happened this year and what we want to do next year and some Mary. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Mary. Who's Mary, you might ask? I don't know. There was a joke in my head when I said that, and then I realised that Mary wasn't the right name. So, yeah, tomorrow we're going to be chatting about things I want to do next year and things that I did or didn't do this year. Mostly didn't. Yeah, we're just going to have a chat about the year and our plans for the future and how 2021 will hopefully, I know people have been saying this for the past 5 years in a row, but hopefully 2021 might be just a little bit better than last year or this year. 2025. Oh dear, we'll see. Yeah. Maybe I'll fix my microphone cable. Who knows? Yes, well, can hardly be worse. People have said that for 5 years in a row. People have said, next year can't be as bad as this year. And it's literally gotten worse. It would take some, unlike a global pandemic, will take some beating. It must be said. It's difficult to imagine something much worse than that. So yeah, it should be. It should be. But we'll see. I'm mostly not going to be talking about stuff I want to do, and you know, things over which I actually have control. As for what the world's going to throw at me, who knows? That's a stream for another day. Why is there a capital T in typewriters there? That's not very good. Crispy, sort out your grammar. So thank you for coming along. I hope you had a good time. Hope you good chats. Yeah. Talking about agency and what is in your control, what you can do and stuff. The Stoic method of philosophy about control and agency and all these sorts of things. Very important. Typewriters. VIT. Yeah. Have a wonderful time. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good day, or if it's the beginning of the day, have a good sleep if it's not. And I'll see you around. I'll see you tomorrow for some summery chats. By which I mean wintry chats. But you know what I mean. Goodbye.